we had a topic, but what we're saying is we want to sort of give it a twist, right? It said building the complete ecosystem, a seamless integration of payments, delivery, and last mile. Very heavy and very high-sounding topic. We're sort of going to make it very simple. What we wanted to discuss today was more around the post-checkout experience. I'll give the context again. There are two pieces of a customer journey in shopping when they're doing a direct to consumer experience online, etc. One is the CX piece of it, which is discovery, search, detail page, experience, etc. Which with Shopify, Ecommerce, digital native, the experience obviously is a lot better when it comes to native experiences versus a marketplace. And then there is something which is a post-checkout experience. Places like Amazon, Flipkart have CX teams, which you all see, and they have bigger delivery experience teams. So Prime is part of delivery experience org of Amazon, and much bigger org. Similarly with Flipkart. And hence the idea was to just discuss how are you looking at the post-checkout experience, right? After you've gotten the customer, now with increased customer acquisition costs through Facebook, Google, wherever, etc. You have gotten him. What happens post and add to cart? I think we can start with some of the delighters which we have seen or what we are implementing in our businesses, etc. Then we can look at what are the challenges which we see and maybe discuss internally on how do we go about addressing some of them, right? Like it's just a brainstorming session in that sense, fundamentally, and hearing each other's views on how do we tackle it. So yeah, like maybe to start off with any delightful experience on the post-checkout piece, something which I can go first. I ordered something from Damage one day late in the evening at 9 p.m. Right, and the guy was at my doorstep to deliver at 9 a.m. in the morning, and that was before same day equivalent, etc. I hadn't heard a lot about it, and then we figured out there's a carrier they use called Miles a Day and they do same day delivery. So for me, that was delightful, right? That got me hooked on to think whenever I need something urgent, maybe it could be only Bangalore, I can order. It's super fast delivery, and I was as a customer, it had the WhatsApp messages coming. Damage is not a customer battle, so it's not a pitch or a selling story. But yeah, like I thought I'll start with one. Anyone on what they have seen or your own brands?
I think I don't know if it's been delight or not, but many a times we get calls from fathers who have ordered for their daughters first time a menstrual product, and they really want to make it special for them. They call us and they say, "Why don't we packet this, that, add something?" They would have gone to any other store, but they don't get the product we sell. So I think that's the delight, and we make it sure that we do that.
And how are you able to do that? So how are you organized to be able to take up a customized request and at scale? How do you do it?
So because that's very the request, I think around 20 to 25 requests per month, and we do have a very extensive customer care team. So we have 2-3 people who do customizations. We have an inbound call, they do that. Simple way.
So can I?
Yeah.
So we had this very unique problem of how people will return the order, because the typical return is where the person will pickup boy will check all the tags, etc. So for us, we gave the instructions to, they had to create a separate line of instructions saying that take closed box. You don't have to check at all. Initially we did have some like frantic and angry calls from customers, but eventually it got, now it's been for 5 years plus, it's been running smoothly, and we are the only ones in our category who do that. If you order from Amazon, Myntra, or even our competition, I must say, they would still open the box, but with us, there's no box opening, you just take it back. We do get our share of customer frauds. There's a mound of old socks and dirty rags in our warehouse which come back sometimes, but that's largely customers have been very, very honest and very appreciative of this.
Interesting. And you said you do see an increase in what we call as potential abuse, like
There is, but then that's it. Those checks we build in system. We allow up to 1 abuse, and after second abuse, we mark it.
I think that's across everywhere. And you're right, we also do one abuse and then that customer is blacklisted. We have seen customer emptying the ingredient and then sending the packing back with khali bag, so kuch nahi at that point of time.
But how do you build that loop, right? Having the customer intelligence is one piece, right? But sort of you need the systems to consume. So you stop taking orders or you stop enabling returns for them?
So both. So it depends on the kind of abuse. If it's on RTOs, unnecessary, so we block at the cash and delivery level.
Got it.
If it's a lot of times people also take money in the wallet. I don't know. It's like weird scam. I don't know how it. I've not figured out. But they pay from some card, but they take money in the wallet and something they do, and get some points on credit card. So then we block at the refund, and then later on we block at RBB. So there's that level of intelligence you have to keep ahead of scammers.
Are you part of the Diners 33 or 10x reward points program? There was a scam which was happening. There's just a digression.
It's all about reward points.
Reward points, and people are buying gold coins on Amazon. And there was no limit.
Bankers stopped it actually. Bankers stopped giving points against those.
Correct.
Even by paying transferring money to Paytm or any of the wallets, you're not getting any points now.
Yeah, so a lot of these scams happen.
This same problem that you spoke about, we faced it as well at FabAlley, in fact, where we had people who were placing orders about a lakh plus 2,500 daily basis, right? And we were like, what's going on? Because they placed the order and they cancelled it. So we did this thing where we called all of them, right? And mostly men to pick up, whereas the shoppers are right? And they're like, randomly orders. And then we found out there's a pattern to this. We still don't know what is the underlying scam or cause, but this is a very, very common thing. In fact, I was like, I want to get in on this. I want to place these orders and make some points myself. But it's a huge problem that we have this places which is blacklisting.
So with my knowledge of a fintech, what they do is, if I have to make a payment of my credit card bill, and if I charge something, and if I ask you to give me the payment back immediately, you give me the payment, but I have to pay after 45 days. I get the credit, that gets offset with my outstanding payment. That's the scam.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm learning a lot of new things.
Best way to do is to speak to your team. Kids who just joined, and then you learn like how the
Absolutely.
and Uber poor thing. I think it's getting scammed the most.
We used to face this very lately. We've been facing this very lately about getting different products in our return packets. So lately we partnered with delivery, and they try to resolve our issues with this QC.
Yeah.
They do QCs for return packets when at the doorstep of the customers. So that has reduced our returns and the wrong products getting shipped back to us considerably. So that has really helped us.
So the problem you're facing is wrong products were against suppliers.
Yeah. So they buy and they will raise a return request and they send us something else completely.
And how they raising the return request? Just one request. Whenever you speak, if you can just introduce yourself also for the larger group. Like I think we connected, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'll just start. I'm Raksha. I am from Suta. I'm the VP Operations.
So, okay, we kind of digressed a bit. Dimple, I'm from SuperBottoms. So, we were actually talking about the delightful experiences. At SuperBottoms, what we do is our products go into a completely plastic-free packaging. We don't use plastic at all. That's one thing that we do. Apart from that, I think after delivery, there's a message that goes to the customer wherein they can reach out to us if they face any issues in using the product. And as well as that, apart from that, we also have a 30 days try policy. So the customer can use the product for 30 days, and if they don't like it, they can return it. So a feedback for you and a challenge that we face at this point is, so some brands want, like Suta for example, she wants QC to be done at the time of reverse pickup.
Correct.
But she doesn't want. I don't want either. I just want the product to be picked up, whatever my customer gives. I'm okay to bear that loss and whatever that percentage of customers who are returning a different product. So I think that's one feedback for Shiprocket. If you can incorporate different options of QC to different customers?
Thanks. We do that, by the way.
Do that?
Yeah, so you can choose. And okay, so let me not say we, that sounds more like a which enablers like us do that, where you can do whether you want to do QC or RBP. I think the next level, what we are trying to build is not there, we are also in infancy, is how can I make it intelligent? So you don't want any customer check to happen. Like I was saying, Nitin is a good guy, he always returns good products, whereas Atul is most of the time has fake, and I can tell you as Shiprocket. So when Nitin is returning, you give him the money straight away. When Atul is returning something, you wait for the inventory to hit your warehouse for it to be inventorized, and then only you'll be there. That's one way to bypass. You're still delighting a prime equivalent customer, and you're still holding Atul by the collar, who is sort of not sure good behavior shopping across
Hi, Kumar. Sorry, my name is Kunal. I'm from Murali. So, with respect to the customer classification that you just have two queries. One is more from when you're doing the query, you're explaining that you bifurcate the customer into high risk, medium risk,
Yes.
and low risk. So, when it comes to that thing, from where do you get customer information? Because obviously, if I'm a third party guy and my customer, I'm a customer and my data is shared with you by Amazon, I'll be very uncomfortable doing that. I don't want my information to go to Shiprocket. See, that's one thing. And second question was, what do you do at customer level? Can you also do the similar thing? I think that will be much easier to do it at area people there. Some areas that are notorious for these kind of things, and you will be blocking.
So two things, like one, we do need, and I think everyone does, like Amazon also does this POD suppression model. It is also delivering on behalf of their sellers. Okay? So we have the phone number linked to the address to what actually happened to the delivery. So we use that intelligence. We'll never tell you a customer score. We'll give you a range, and it is also based on multiple things, right? One is the customer profile, the location he is on, what has he ordered, right? For the forward leg, when we predict RTO, it also has what is the order amount, right? If it's a 15,000 COD order, most probably it is going to get RTO. If it has a transit time of 9 days, for whatever reason, right? 9 days तक तो COD order करना रहेगा, I'll definitely take it, right? So it has elements of those, the region. So ये सोनीपत के पास, जयपुर में एक तो पिन कोड. There's two of the algo to say यहाँ से कोई नया customer भी आया where I don't have history, it will potentially.
But that will be done by the marketplace. That analytics is available.
Yes, it is.
Be available with the marketplace.
So that capability is available, and hence what I was trying to say was, if so there is a need, the way I see it, right, for the ecosystem outside marketplaces to have that information available for everyone to access, right? Being at other Blaze we talked about, right? Everyone is trying to create that, and I think that's good, right? What to be able to deliver a par post checkout experience, I need to be intelligent. See, if I want to delight you by giving a refund immediately the moment it is picked up, I need to have a. If I want to delight Nitin, I need to have an Atul also where I hold it. Okay? So that intelligence is important, otherwise I'll burn.
So I don't want to sound this thing because I had this strategy. I look at operations on support. I look at single view of customer. Today I feel the challenge when it comes to thinking, when you try to share the information between all the stakeholders of the ecosystem. When it comes to sharing customer information, for me, when I'm looking at single view of customer, you want to create single view of customer. Right now I know the customer of my CRM system, my details, and my offline channels. But in Amazon or Flipkart, you never share that.
Correct.
It's generally that.
Yes.
They will look. So the customer have not given them the liberty to share that information outside of their ecosystem. So, with the same logic, I'm thinking if it's the same logic holds for customers for this item, the same logic will hold true for that item also, where the customer will be very hesitant of this data will be shared to a 3PL partner for them to be analyzed. I can surely say if Amazon does it, it's okay. If Flipkart is going, he's given his consent to Amazon. Then you have my information for to do some analytics on this thing and give a recommendation, you're okay to do that.
No, but I think what is Amazon doing? and shopping even on Amazon, right? You're using that information to be able to block me when I'm going to shop SuperBottoms, right? And I'm shopping a brand, and it could be a 3P. Forget about marketing, like not even in retail. So I think what you're asking is, can you do it? Our understanding so far is the ecosystem can do it. Yes.
I'm asking more from legal.
Yeah.
Sorry, even at Amazon, it's not that you give explicit permission as a customer for your data to be used in whatever manner, right? It's an implicit understanding, saying that any D2C platform as well. So I think it's the same. I would see a difference in the two, basically.
We can maybe pick it up. We're getting into a domain which is like more information security and. Yeah, okay. So, any other? Yeah. The mic is not. So mic up audio.
No, I think it's. I think firstly I'm happy that there's some validation because internally I'm from Zouk, right? And internally we feel the post-purchase experience needs to match Amazon. I think everybody is cited Amazon, so I think kudos to their team for getting it there. So I think philosophically I look at three parties involved, right? One is the brand, another is the customer, and third is sort of who takes care of the post-purchase experience. From us as a brand, I think one, I expect the post-purchase experience to be fundamentally as good as Amazon, and we'll get there, right? It's not, can't start off. I think second is philosophically, I think we were on this is to say that we prefer taking the order and then sorting out the mess or whatever, rather than saying block it before taking the order. I think another piece which has always been a thing because brands have product banate hain, we get the customer, we sell, we do all the hard part, and then once the product goes and comes back, right, without the customer even opening the or even seeing the package, right? That's where I think a lot of doubts come in. Hey, am I being cheated? You know, so at our end, for example, we have an extensive process even to sort of check did the delivery person even call you, because they keep marking it as nobody was available, nobody picked up, etc. I think for delivery partners, and I think guys are the leaders in that, I think there has to be a solution for that as well. To say, can you validate what a delivery partner marked as was the person there, not there, did they pick up, not pick up? Because that fundamentally creates a difference. And for two different brands, the expectation for three different brands can be very different, right? Like for him, it's like, मुझे कल चाहिए था, right? But आज मिला, right? For us, maybe there's a lot more time. It's okay. People are willing to actually wait 9 days for a 15,000 COD order and still take it. Right? And we've been quite poor at that, so we've broken down the funnel and tried to measure what are factors we control, where we fulfill faster, and what are factors that's in transit. But I think one of the things is just pure transparency in what's happening after something is left our warehouse and before it reaches the customer. Right? What can be done over there? Because that gives ops teams a lot of confidence, right? To be able to offer a lot more flexibility, because at the end we are competing against Amazon for that experience. So, and they're getting better and better at not just improving selection but even AOV and all of that. So I think that's going to be a challenge which, if a player can enable for brands, then brands can indeed sort of operate just like what Shopify has done.
Yes.
Pre sort of purchase wala journey, where as a non-developer I can still list, and now it's become better than Amazon. Right? My team says Amazon list karna hai 4 days, Shopify 5 minutes, right? So it's fundamentally very different after having all the assets. So I think if that can happen in post purchase, then D2C can definitely come out to be bigger.
So you said one thing where you don't know whether that they actually attempted it or not. So you said one thing which is basically whether the guy fundamentally attempted the delivery or not. What else is there? Because there are 6-7 steps before that product actually reaches your customer. What else is there which is?
Yeah, so I think if I have to sort of break down the funnel, I think one is sort of after an order is placed, how much time does it take to leave our warehouse? Because that is something I can control, right? And there's some data around that, and easy to pick because you guys have that data, right? Order kab aaya from your Shopify, and when it was picked, you have that data. So if that is too late, then there's something fundamentally wrong with it. And the second piece from there is there to the, sorry, I might miss a few steps, you guys are the experts, but going to the nearest node to B1D, B1D to somewhere far, and then I think now, given tracking and all people are so comfortable with, and just me, but maybe a lot of people I've spoken to, they don't track orders on Amazon at all. They just assume कि order कर दिया ना, आ जाएगा, right? Whereas I think for D2C people still track. I was an interesting case today of a customer saying, hey, it took 6 days to come from Mumbai to Hyderabad. It's 4 days. That package is 1 kilometer away from my house. Why is it taking 4 days plus for it to reach me? And so people have now become intelligent because tracking कर रहे हैं, then they're like, hey, and Zeptos of the world have set a context of 1 kilometer away, 10 minutes में आ ही जाएगा, right? So then we're competing even against that. So with more data transparency, we'll also have to sort of share क्या हो रहा है. Right? I think if there's a better way to show expected date of delivery, then that might feel better. It's coming. We know it's late, but it's coming. Right?
So do these benchmarks vary for each of the wares? I don't know. I mean, let's say order 2 when it leaves the warehouse. And what will you guys be happy with? Is there a number?
So, for instance, we track Anurag and FabAlley, introduce myself, and the D2C business over there. And there are 2 metrics we track. The first is, like you mentioned, the TAT, the turnaround time for dispatch, which is in our control, and the second is the from dispatch to final delivery, right? So that altogether is the delivery time that we show, the average we show on the website. So our turnaround time for dispatch is something we try to bring most of it under a day. We should do about 1,000 orders on a daily basis, and the idea is to have that under a day. There's like a 490 monitoring that we do to make sure that these numbers are met and brought down even further. Right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just interrupting you. Do you have a cutoff in mind?
So under 24 hours basically is what we say that we want to achieve, and we mostly now have come to a stage where we do that. The dispatch is under 24 hours for most things. We now also have an omni-channel listing, so sometimes if something is going in the store instead of the warehouse, it takes a little more time than that 24 hours, but overall on average it's within 30, right? From dispatch to deliveries is more unpredictable because you're working with your partners, etc., and that varies depending on the reliability and the efficiency of all of them. So we work across a number of delivery partners to find out which pin codes each one of them is better at. So yeah, just putting down the metrics that you asked, is the turnaround time for dispatch and that we track and set targets against.
Is that similar for you guys? I mean, 24 hours is what you expect?
Yeah, kind of similar, 24 hours. And of course, after that, customers do expect nowadays, customers want their delivery within 2 or 3 days, even if it's an April, they expect us to deliver it within 2 days. So, like Pradeep mentioned, right, one of the major concerns we have is, they're not getting a call from the field executives, right? That is one of the major complaints we have. We never got a call, we never received a call. And that is one of the major reasons why we see RTOs, right? So, and of course, fake exceptions where are marked, the customer's not there. And so, this is one of the major concerns we have.
And just to add to that, we also realized that this thing of customer not receiving a call gives heartburn on multiple people. Right? So my customer experience team also says, "हमने क्या गलत किया that I had to read this." Like, literally, they might not say it, but I can sense the emotions from how they say it. Right? Yeah, हमने क्या गलत किया कि मतलब we have good product. And if I go to marketing, we did everything right to get them to purchase. And all that. Customer is also like, how can they say they called me? They never called me because I think they started thinking that, oh, you missed the call, hence the package went back. Now you're not going to get the package. COD folks are still like, I'm not paid for it, so I'm safer. Unless they were planning to take the bag, we put bags right now, so they take it for a tour, so they can't take it or whatever. But prepaid folks are like really worried about, is this going to result in me losing money or whatever. So I think that thing, that opaqueness does hurt everybody. I think in the middle, there's also a sense of us saying, oh no, the post dispatch from our side to customer is not done by us. So don't blame us, blame the partner who does it. Right? Then took a lot of sort of speaking to say that no, that's also our responsibility. We can't just say that ये तो XYZ कर रहा है. So you can't just say that to the customer. You can say they're doing it, but then we're going to follow up and get it in the hands because now it's become a product plus service play thanks to Amazon, which set the benchmark. So that education also we had to, but that opaqueness does lead to multiple stakeholders feeling bad.
I think we can take a lot of comfort from the fact that Amazon at certain place has these issues, right? And it has also been on a journey. like Amazon, there were mails. And the customer, it says not attempted, delivered, etc. And I think as the ecosystem evolves, as we get more and more demanded, I'm making that point, right? Like even when you talk about QC, RVP, non-QC, RVP, etc. I think one of the key themes will have to be that from the brand side, will have to be more demanding, right? Either folks like us create the solution, or you sit on our head and demand that because the solution will get created, right? I'll give you an example. You talked about RTO ho raha hai and there's variability, right? Should we have one of the ideas which we're toyed with and we'll sort of build it is I'll offer my merchant RTO included pricing, which is to say hands on the wheel experience for you. I'll manage your operations. If RTO goes up, it's my deal. But I will build the systems. I'm your operational consultant, right? Like as Shiprocket, I don't do supply chain. I'm the last mile supply chain. The last mile supply chain, right? Then what am I doing? I'm an operational consultant, technical, right? I give you access. I have the tech and the workflows. It's my responsibility to get it delivered. It's my responsibility to figure out that a packet has been lying at a destination for more than 24 hours and it hasn't moved. I read, I should look at 68 scans, right? And you can, the customer can be demanding for 68 scans. But did you know that it is lying there? When was the last scan? Has 12 hours elapsed between two scans? In a sense, you partners like us and a lot more, when pushed, will have to then hold the partners accountable, right? Like for four दिन तक move नहीं किया, वो कोई बताएगा, then will work. No, that won't work. We'll have to be demanding.
Are you saying that you guys keep a track and if something is like a kilometer away, keep a track?
Not a kilometer. So what we do track, keep a track of is this, and there's something called RAD, reach at destination. अब पहुंच गया. RAD to OFD, out for delivery timeline क्या? Then the team has just started tracking. OFD अगर हो रहा है, to a driver you can sort of for some carriers track how many shipments is one driver carrying. If it is 100, you know fake hoga 60. Because no one can deliver 100 shipments, right? You are able to pinpoint and highlight. And it is about holding people accountable, right? Holding people accountable through data. Data in this case, if the shipment hasn't moved, it is sitting at RD. I can understand. Delhi to Bangalore move कर रहा है, scan नहीं होगा थी. Understood. Bangalore reach destination. There has to be a scan. Either it is lost proactively, figuring out. The other thing which you talked about, what happened to my shipment, there are solutions, and if you are not using, I strongly recommend do that, which is how to keep the customer engaged after you have shipped the order. And we used to SMS first, WhatsApp works brilliantly. Say, पहुंच गया है, पहुंचने वाला है, it's out for delivery today.
So share something on this also. I'm Arjun from Naagin. Like one of the questions we have consistently had from people is along the lines of like, why do you need to call me? It's like, I've just ordered some outsourced stuff.
Yes.
I need to have a relationship with you. I was like, that's okay. You know, we don't have to be best friends. But I think the whole point is like, just send me a message. Like, it should be contingent on us having a conversation.
Yes.
And I kind of empathize because I'm just like, you only need to have a relationship with people when things don't work, right? It's like having a relationship manager with the bank. If सब कुछ ठीक से चलता था, why do I need to have a relationship with you? Right? Like I just need to hit the buttons and everything is cool. And it's so funny to hear people have that expectation for a product that you would imagine is something that you would buy hundreds of over the course of a year between all your family members. So I can only imagine how that feels for you guys also in terms of, you know, like, because a lot of the products that you guys have is something important or like something special. Like, you know, I mean, I would never like diminish the importance of Naagin in people's lives. It's a beautiful thing. But like, what I'm trying to say is like, a lot of people like look forward to that purchase, right? Like FabAlley also, like something essential if I'm looking to get from like SuperBottoms or like particularly or whatever it is. This is more like, you know, like a personal indulgence. That's more like, okay, abhi chahiye hi chahiye. It doesn't change the fact that the guy actually wants to get this. Like, how does this work out? You mentioned WhatsApp right now.
Yeah.
That's another googly that we got also. It's like, so we've set up a lot of our automations based on how you change, like, you know, the status of the order.
Yes.
So based on that, you either get a WhatsApp for this or like some new communication by email or something like that. But the problem that we're having over here is where people are just like, look, why are you WhatsApping me constantly? SMS kiya, then eventually they'll block you. You WhatsApp them too many times, but that eventually they'll block you. The only one they'll accept though is on delivery, but they never want to get the same message twice. So it's all, so there's only 4 that we've identified that they're willing to accept. One is left the warehouse, one is it's reached the final destination hub, third is the guy's come and he's basically like it's order
Out for delivery. Yeah.
The one where we fight with them the most is, what do you mean out for delivery? 3 घंटे पहले आया, अब तक आया नहीं. You know, and that's like one issue. And the second one is order's been delivered, but I'm nowhere close to the order. I've been sitting at home the whole day. Now what do we do? And there's literally nothing we can say. Like, we are just walled off from our partner. And it's just like, it takes hours to figure out what's going on. This guy's getting frantic on the side, and yeah, in the end it's just like, yeah, customers like, he care, like, you know, like I'm not going to tell you what you said. So what's the solution? Is there even a solution? Or is it just like reliance on like tech delivery?
See, I think a lot of it is on reliance on tech, which will help you do better exception handling or identification. So I'll give you an example. When you send a message that it has been delivered, I'm just thinking of the company, right? Do you want to raise, is it right, or do you want to raise a dispute or ignorance, etc. If the guy messes down, and out of 10,000 messages you are going to send, 20 will be, like you know that 20 will work. You are not expecting him to now call you to figure that out, right? Such interventions reduces the impact of a negative experience. Every negative experience, in a sense, also becomes an opportunity to delight. Right? There's so many, like even till date, after that, the way it gets handled, they feel like they were proactive, handled. Defects are going to be there, right? We have to embrace defects. We have to minimize defects. So the exception will happen. How proactively I am being able to handle that exception? There will be shipment which will be lying in the station for hopefully not 4 days, 2 days, right? But on the second day, maybe the regional end will also know that kuch pada hua hai, and it might just be that it is locked because there is some bug which is happening. You will also be able to tell your customer effectively if the workflow is aligned with that. I think that's.
Yeah, I had a really interesting question from Dimple also. It's like, so a lot of the props that we get on customer service is for not being bad. It's not for actually excelling. It's just that the bar is so low nationwide because people are, I guess there's no one from Vodafone and Yatra here, as my personal worst experiences. But like the bar is so low on customer service that just by not being terrible, you get like, it's basically a good experience. Like even if I don't love the song, but I love you guys, and like I'm only going to say positive things. Like how do you turn, you know, like operational questions into like positives? Like, and because a good delivery itself is the whole battle. But like when it's like, okay, how do you turn that into a win is something I'd love to kind of see how you guys sort of play that out.
Sure. So we actually have a team whose KRA is to get happy customers. So we have a program called as Happy Customers Program, and there are a lot of activities that we do under this program. If, for example, we get about 150 odd exceptions, not RTO, sorry, exceptions. My team calls these customers कि यहाँ पर आपका exception आया है. It says exception as in delivery exception. So the delivery was not, the delivery did not happen due to either the customer was not reachable or the customer was not available, or if it is out of the delivery area or whatever the reason was. So this team calls the customers and checks with them कि आपको delivery के लिए call आया था, okay, नहीं आया. So then we actually reach out to our aggregators and then we connect with them कि ये तो fake exception है. So that's one of the ways wherein the customer is engaged. The customer knows कि this team, SuperBottoms, is working on getting the delivery of my order, and it's not just that ship हो गया, बाकी का काम Shiprocket करेगा. So we do that. Alternatively, we also track our 24. We have this target of 24 hours dispatch, and this is something that's that's tracked every day. Not even like every alternate day. Every day in the morning 9:30 we track कि कल के कितने orders 24 hours में ship हुए, कितने नहीं हुए, कितने orders 2 दिन में deliver हो रहे हैं, कितने नहीं हो रहे, और अगर नहीं हो रहा है, what is the problem, what's the issue, and that's how we actually do that. Apart from that, we also have a community on Facebook where the parents can reach out to us, give whatever feedback they want to give, and we work on it.
By the way, the way I see great point. That even as you talk about customer service or positive experience, I think it's the small things that really matter and what people look for. I see these positive delight experiences marketing more than customer service. So I think most people do it. I don't know what your experience has been. Has, let's say, delighting customers somehow affected the overall statistical number? I guess no, but I'm curious about it. What does happen is usually word of mouth on this thing spreads, which I can't as marketing rather than, let's say, customer service per se. So from that standpoint, it's a great thing about customer service. It's called happy customer team. Right? I think that's something that I'm looking to build as well right now.
So I had one offline brand. So one challenge I generally face is the own team. And I ship a product to my marketplace and return is coming. So that's one thing where the 3PL partner does a QC. And when it comes to my warehouse, again I have to do a QC kind of stuff which is on camera. So that if there's a case we process on this then I can process my claim. What inefficiency happens is that 3PL partner does a QC, I also do a QC, and the cylinder is inefficiency. So if you as a partner can come up with a solution which can help me with reducing the inefficiency, because I don't have to do it again and again. Whatever QC you do is acceptable to other marketplace. It will be very useful for the ecosystem.
And do you share that QC with Mehta for processing, claiming?
So we do that, but Mehta has its own policy where they don't do
Video proof calls.
We have a table where the box is open and it's photographed and all that thing happens along with that.
I think see, is the SOP is there. Maybe you continue to do, okay, top of the mind, you continue to do that. But like we are looking at the earlier example, if out of 100 of your customers, 80 are like Nitin, only 20 are like us. You can skip the step one, right? Then you have a problem of dual QC only in 20% of the cases.
But okay, that when you see 20% of the person, I will not want that also.
Yeah.
I want to make it more as efficient as possible.
Like I said, वो थोड़ा सा defect, right? Like Amazon does QC at doorstep, that is 97%, 98%. उन्होंने दो छोड़ा है, like in some other regular system at night. Just one more point, I think one of the interesting things that I'm just sharing it is with time you might see a externalization of e-card and so what they are very strong at is building that ecosystem to support their network. Right? So you don't face these challenges of fake, not delivered, station, 4 days, etc. Typically it's an Amazon shipment. Same with potentially e-card, and they're focusing a lot on externalization. We also have to see how can that happen. It's just that they are big ones, so any tech change to make it more suitable for externalization takes time. But I think over the next 1.5 years, I won't be surprised. Both in US we've seen Amazon trying to do some multi-channel fulfillment, etc., where the quality, the bar of what is base delivery potentially will also rise, right? And the inherent defects in the ecosystem potentially as we evolve will go down. And like I said, if we are more demanding on top of that, I think 4 days तो छोड़ो, एक दिन भी RIT के बाद भी नहीं हुआ तो we need to be able to identify it and act on it. I think that's potentially what we will gravitate towards. Combination of suppliers raising the bar and we being more demanding. Yeah, they do. You can use for merchant one.
Already started operating for India.
Yeah. So they do. E-card is there. SW is also there. SW is also there. It's just that if you ask, like, and we have them enlisted as partners on our platform. We have a decent amount of shipments and merchant who are using e-card and SW. It's just that on the technology side, while it's a strength, for them to change anything internally, given their size, scale, etc., it takes some time. But I think the journey 6-9 months will definitely help.
Is any you have talked returns a lot, right? Has any of you tried an experiment where you ask the customer to put in the video and put or what they return, maybe it's not good. If it's not good, right? Instead of just raising the request, right? Why don't you put 6 photos as well? Have you ever, I'm just asking, I've never had a brand.
Wow, this is 100% like that. Like zero returns accepted if you don't send your photo. Because how do we know that it happened? The vast majority of our problems are different from you guys, right? Like, I mean, you guys very different. I think I realized that over the last like half an hour, 45 minutes. Like, type of problems you guys have, like size may be wrong, or color may be wrong, or fit may be different, or the feel might be different, or preference at the time might change or something. And I think I realized that between our first interaction and like 30 minutes later, like for us it's literally like the product is either shattered to pieces or it's literally the wrong product. Like someone gave either the wrong thing or not. So it's very clear. Like either you got the wrong bottle or it's smashed to smithereens. So,
it's easy for you.
but yeah, when you take a photo and you send it over, the only one that doesn't work is the one that they just like, oh, like you know the manufacturing date or something is like what it'll say or something. Just what me to do like. That is the most frustrating one because it's always the same email addresses. It always ends with like XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the guy sends you multiple orders and then they kiss the hell out of it and then they start like, it's like how much hot sauce can you have, right? Like, I mean,
Use diet health.
there's real problems and then there's real problems.
We actually do that, and we ask for photos when customers are asked ways of if it's a defective product. That's when we ask them to send photos. If we receive the right product, that is only in the cases where we ask them for pictures, and they do it.
So do you check that once it comes to the warehouse again?
Yes,
I
we
check
do.
that?
May I answer? So I come from the grocery segment, I mean it's Rajasthan. So see, in grocery, what we do today is we have kept a certain threshold in terms of the value of the product, right? So what we do is that 75 rupees can each change. Generally, F&B, fruits and vegetable, I don't want to question, right? I say it's more of a no question asked. Beyond which, I ask them for an image. But again, it depends, right? Like you said, I think the customer is doing, I mean, of course, you can reach it. But for us, the policy is more on that because, we don't want to, torture the customer for a very low item or value item. And generally, most of these quality issues which are coming is like, in FMCG or a fruits and vegetable, up under say something is bad, I don't know how much we can change. Right? So this is where we are. But I think it is based on the category of product. I think it could be different.
I'm saying, jitna technology or profiling say whatever we can solve, it really helps that. I'll give you a personal anecdote. We were running hands-on pantry, the grocery, and we said grocery. There's a customer who had ordered for 1,60,000 and he had refunded the 1,58,000. Every order will say damaged. And the call center guys knew, okay, iska phone is damaged. And our policy that got assigned, right? Damaged, ask for a photo, he'll click a photo, damaged. Now you can't audit whether it is damaged or not. And then you need to block, like the only solution there, you can't rate the customer here executive to audit the photo. There's no point, like what will he audit? घी का डब्बा है टूट गया ना पुराना वाला घी का डब्बा है ना you can't check for time stamp of a photo anyway so going from the delivery experience oh sorry
I wanted to reverse this shared experiences we've had and have and given you all have hundreds and thousands of partners
right
what are some of the unique things folks have done in your network to sort of deliver better post-purchase experience
right so I'll tell you 3-4 things broadly and different people have done it differently. First, I think is selecting the right partner, right? Not every partner has a strength in every pin code, right? And that also keeps changing. So how are you very proactively figuring out where should I plan my trip? Second, reducing the time, right? Of how you can use warehousing to be closer to customer, how you can be 24/7 operations, etc. which is not same day delivery. Right, if you're placing an order till 7 a.m. on 8 a.m. in the morning in the 4 metros, we've aligned with some partners to be able to deliver it same. So I think speed and deciding the right partner is important. Post that, engaging the customer after he has placed an order is very important. Right, so WhatsApp messages, etc. We're starting on a trial basis for all merchants. We send the out for delivery message because that is the most important one. That's the day I want the customer to be at home and be aware someone is going to come. We'll see whether we want to add the rest of the 3 messages you talked about. So that is still a journey which is happening and the delivery is still happening. Next one is on, which is more what we do, not the merchants, but we work with the merchant on saying defect identification and action. Defects will happen, that realization. And then saying how do we solve for it? That's the piece of look at where it is starting, etc. And the final one is on the returns experiences. Some of the merchants have started using the return workflow, etc., which really helps, right? I talked about the Davins example. I have to return something, I have to call and explain. And I have to say, ये वाला pick करना, red वाला नहीं, yellow वाला, and this and that, etc. Which I felt was, if it was system led, like you were saying, I don't want to know. I just take instructions from me and just send someone to pick it up. No? It's just that so some pieces of that is.
Add a little further, peeling the onion on what he has said, right? We talked of 24-hour deliveries, or the 24-hour pickup, right? How can we do 6-hour, 4-hour, 12-hour, 3-hour, right? That is where we are peeling the onion. It's not possible in every category, right? Because it requires a split of inventory. But where the inventory split can be done, can we do multiple warehouses? That's one. The second thing we do is, what are the fill rates we are getting? Right? Can I promise 99.9% every time? So that you have received an order of 1 lakh rupees, you will send out 99,900 rupees for sure. If you don't do that, I take a penalty with you. Right? And once I've sent that 99,900, right, how accurately have I done? Right? It has to be 99.9% accurate, so that at least one leg is solved. Right? So 99,810 rupees is correctly sent out from the warehouse on time without any issue. Right? What Atul talked about SDD, a number of metrics you are talking about, but reach the warehouse, out for delivery, all of that is solved, right? There is no hub, there is no spoke, there is nothing in the middle, right? There is the inventory, there is the customer, it has to be connected, right? It can, the only things which can fail is bike puncture away, it's raining heavily, so could not be delivered, which customers also understand. I mean, even if Zomato doesn't deliver on food which is 10 minutes away or 20 minutes away, it's raining. They say we need 2 hours or whatever, the Tata Sky doesn't. People understand some of these physical constraints around their place, right? They can see them. So we are actually peeling the onion on each of these things to make it more reliable, more accurate, more predictable, both from a data and an execution point of view.
And given you all have worked on both of these, one is sort of picking up from warehouse anywhere in India to pay and last mile and sort of, is there any math around which works better? Like if I put inventory in 4 different states versus holding from here, dispatching to a different state, how does the math work? How should we look at it? Like inventory cost versus just fulfillment cost versus overall?
I think it matters on the breadth of SKUs you have, right? For Being Human, for FabAlley, for Clovia, Suta as well. The number of SKUs is very large, right? Each of you must be running a few thousand SKUs, right? Just doing that algorithm on what to place where is a headache in itself, right? I mean, I've been talking to Abhay multiple times, and the problem is, what do I put in Bangalore? I want to open a warehouse in Bangalore, but what do I put there? There is no determinate way to do it, right? And if I end up spending more because the inventory which was ordered in Delhi is actually in Bangalore, people will look at me about, right? But for smaller bread products, like we run boat, for example, we run 4 warehouses for boat, we run multiple warehouses for Lifelong, we run multiple warehouses for Mama, right? The SKUs are only those many, 50, 100, 150, 200, right? It's no brainer to put it out in 20 warehouses.
And is it a customer delight conversation or is it a cost?
So it's a customer delight first, which when you look at the financial, it becomes the cost center. Salot was here from M15. We sort of, I think we have replicated the inventory across 4 or 5 warehouses, right? The speed has gone up, including the warehousing cost, the overall cost has gone down. Because if you understand, Zone D has now become Zone E and B, right? I'm not doing national shipping. Like national shipping, which traditionally is 55%, 55 to 60% Zone D, is down to around 20%. Well, everything has become Zone AB. So your cost goes down, your speed becomes faster, and if the math turns out to be a 50 becoming 20 to 25, then the cost will be and it's a good. And that's what.
So yeah, I think the mindset at least we have internally is about client success, right? Client success is defined by how happy your customer is. We'll figure out a way to deliver that, right?
That reduction leads to I think decent enough traction in sales also.
Yeah.
And one day reduction could easily up your sales by 7-8%.
Easily.
In that area.
Absolutely.
So we had.
That's a conservative number.
1% conversion increase. So if you're at 10,
Yeah,
you become 11. That's what broadly or
So I'll give you another example there. This is more relevant for apparel, but for a client of ours, they were running B2B and B2C separately. Right? This is another point where inventory became common and coming to that. Right? B2B separate inventory, B2C separate inventory, stockouts were an issue, serving customers was an issue. The moment they combined, right, they saw a 4% uptick. Right? Because a lot more styles were exposed on both B2B and B2C. They were happier doing that. And frankly, the warehousing that cost they paid us was just a minuscule part of the uptick they were able to get just by combining it. Working capital is anyway saved, right? But the point is, we are giving the customer more options.
see, that was another piece which we wanted to sort of discuss about. How do you look at a single inventory? So today, and especially in fashion, you have Mehta, Flipkart, Ajio, your own equivalent, etc. And some of them we have
EBOs and MBOs and Coco and Fofo and what else?
like how do you get a single inventory view, right? And for if you ask us, we discuss one place which can serve everything, whether it is B2B, whether you want to give it to your EBOs, whether it is B2C, one place which can serve everything, every channel, reduces the point of will I be able to replicate without increasing cost.
I think I will peel the question a little more. I think single inventory view is not a problem, right? Ecommerce, Vinculum, blah blah blah. Everybody is selling that only, right? It's a question of execution. Once you have data in one cloud, so to say, you have to deliver the orders.
And that's one
Right? So it's all about execution, right? And that is where us together are trying to build that solution. Right? So love to hear how you guys are kind of
Well, you have separate B2B, B2C warehouses, marketplaces,
We have same warehouse actually.
single view of inventory. And what about the marketplaces? Like,
But when I say B2B and B2C, we have a separate section for B2B.
so inventory is not shared.
Yeah.
View of inventory is not dependent on warehousing being separate or same. Inventory view can be.
But the inventory view is easy to do. Executing
Yeah, right.
different orders on that same inventory view is the question. Is your picking aligned to do that? Is your packing aligned to do that? Can your pickers do both? Can you do packs? Can you build sets?
The order from the store, and other stores are trading up the set in the.
Exactly. I think we are talking more of the execution part of it. Here, view to Ajay.
आप जैसे बोल रहे थे Maniculum और this partner, they create that single customer. Me for me, I have mother warehouse for my customers, and I have a e-commerce website for only for my e-commerce website for separate warehouse. The inventory is kept at both of them. I don't currently because my operation guide either I want to sell 100 pieces, I want this big number of pieces to be blocked for me. I maintain it separately. But when I do on a single view on a only. And when I implement OMS, I don't
But tell me, can you suppose on your B2C warehouse, a style goes out of stock, and it's there in the B2B warehouse, can you serve it from there?
the OMS platform is.
In the one, so the warehouse is enabled.
Absolutely.
So that was the point.
That solution is, as he rightly said, the solution is already available. The bigger question is, with this view, how good is the partner able to execute those integrate?
What about you? Like,
So, we actually, last year, right? Maybe last year as well. So, the website, you see, this is the website, people who also from the handle, we watch stock of the last time. So, the entire part of the year. We implemented a normal channel inventory where not only is the website and our store, but also whatever is in all our stores, we have got, whatever our e-unit, all that stock is also there. This is something not there. Whereas wherever that's something not there, it gets picked up in the so the number of styles that we have shown customers also increases.
right.
And offline is also having to, we won't have to kind of be like, no, you can't give the size because it can't be. So that was an omnichannel execution. It took us a couple of months to really get it right in the sense store training of staff is something that takes time. There are a few of years there, but now it's school is better.
Going forward, at least from an offline brand perspective, having a home day is going to be normal brand. There's nothing different about it.
You had
Yeah, I have a question. So it's more towards the three of you. So it's more towards the three of you. Sorry, Dimple, if you mind saying. I'm from the logistics aggregator in Korea. Would you guys rather serve, when you were talking about the cost and the TAT, right? The trade-off between the two. Would you guys rather deliver a faster TAT? I mean, as was rightly mentioned, that at scale you might reduce the cost, and it will happen. But to start with, would you rather have a faster delivery TAT, or would you incur lesser cost, lesser last mile delivery cost? Which one would you guys opt? At scale, yes, that's what was mentioned. But what do you start with?
We actually had negotiated with VFast a couple of months back. We had got a good rate from them, but the only challenge that we faced back then was it was not integrated with our aggregators. We actually had to manually find orders from Mumbai, and similarly in Bangalore for Dunzo, and we had to actually book VFast or Dunzo for those orders, because as a part of our Happy Customer program, we wanted to give same-day delivery to the customers. So yes, cost is a factor, but at the same time, if it is automated and if it is there with our aggregators, we would actually prefer.
So automation can be taken care by APIs. That is a separate.
But that was not the case few months back. After that, I think we never explored it.
Okay.
But that was not the case few months back, and until then, Porter did not even have that bike delivery. I think back then you guys only had trucks, and we still use porters to deliver our B2B consignments or warehouse transfers. So that's there. That we use porter just for that.
Yeah, I know. It's not about using porter. It's just that which one is the lesser evil at this stage.
I think it will be SLA. Like we're talking so much about customer
Correct.
experience. It's more like an investment, is the way I see it. You want to delight your customer, and especially if you have a long-term view of this is how I will be able to reduce the cost. If you start cost backwards and you have a bad experience, things are breaking. And sorry, please. No. And that's why I'm saying, for example, I'll give you a similar sense, right? Like we are launching SBD, we have launched SBD for customers, same day delivery. We are consciously priced at the same time. Right? So yeah, experience right? And then in this case, it's let's say the reverse journey. Experience comes important. Once customer is used to it, he realizes consistently doing it. I was talking about the dominant example. First day he would have asked me for delivery, I would not have given. Right? Now when I know I'll place an order in the night, he's going to deliver in the morning, he asks me for delivery also, and I said, okay, I need it urgently, and that's why I came here. You are super on the delivery experience.
But not all customers are like that.
I would say it would be okay to pay 30.
No, but I'll give you an option, right? Like, do you want it in the morning or you are fine with delivery till 9? Right?
No, I want it in the morning and I don't want to pay 30 extra.
That's a demanding customer.
So I was thinking about this, I know you didn't ask me that question, but I was thinking about this from your side, right? As a business, I think it's really dependent on which category you're serving. So just the analysis that came to me is we have a domestic business and an international business, right? So domestic, free delivery, try to get it ASAP. For international, I'm actually trying to find the cheapest option available that can get them in a okay amount of time. Because international customers are like, you know what, I know this shipping from India, it might get delayed a bit, it's okay, right? Similarly, if it's your business, for example, Naagin sauce, I think people would want that ASAP, but if it's apparel or something, people are okay to wait. So if you're pitching and selling to businesses, you would probably do that based on which category you're serving them rather than just a general speed versus cost.
Just adding another layer, I think for me, sort of a key takeaway is what Mufti said, we can deliver one day, then 7% increase. I want to be able to give the guarantee to my marketing team to put on that Instagram ad that we're going to deliver in one day. That's very critical for me, right? So if I want to pay you more, you give me that guarantee, ye din mein jayega, right? Then I can reap the entire benefit of paying more. If it's going to be, hey, you place the order and all of that will happen, don't guarantee anything. Some 80% might go in one day, others might go in 3 days, 2 days, don't work. Right? Then I might as well save on cost. Give it to CAC, to Facebook instead of and work with that funnel. So that's the key part, which how we
99% guaranteed delivery. We'll hear a lot more about it. I think we've got voice. We'll potentially wrap up. Thanks for an enlightening session. Just one thought, and I'm saying it's more as I was hearing and listening. I think be more demanding, right? Guaranteed delivery, 99%. The ecosystem as it is, folks sitting here, folks outside the room, should be able to, right? Front end, Shopify, Razorpay have done a great job to get us delivery, right? Now it's this time for the rest to raise the bar and reduce the gap with equivalent experiences in the marketplaces, and the more demanding we are, right, the better we are doing. So be more demanding. Yes, we need 80% of the orders to be delivered in 1 or 2 days. That's the North Star goal. And 99% okay on that. That 1% is that one day OFD, RAD, whatever I'm talking about, stations may have 24-hour resolution on that. If you are in that space, right, and we should also, we are also partners in getting there. We will also need to push. But if we start from that North Star and think big and think more demandingly, take those pushes and falls, we'll be able to get there. Is my belief on what I have learned and experienced here in 9-10 months of being in this space. And yeah, like it's very simple to have an experience which is better than what we have on marketplaces. Definitely, even on the post academic. I'm an eternal optimist. No, but thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.